Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? Um,
Hi Nisha, how are you? All well?
hi, hi, Tanasha. Doing good. Um, how's it going? Think I just saw Amarjot joining in. I see Adhiraj. How are you guys doing? I think you guys are on mute, so if you can unmute yourself, I'd love to know. Doing great. Thanks, Adhiraj. Hi, Prabhat. How's it going?
It's going all good. How are you?
Good, good. Busy season as usual. So
Yeah, it's a festive season.
it's a festive season.
Yeah,
Hi, Ripple. How are you doing? Where are you
Hey,
from?
hey, how are you?
Doing good, doing good. Where are you from, Ripple?
I'm currently in Goa, India.
Goa, India. Got it, got it. How's the weather there? Is it um
It's
it's raining or is it
yeah,
fairly,
it's pretty good. It was raining a while ago, drizzle, which was nice.
which was nice? Wow, it's good to hear that the rains are nice for some of us because we folks in Bangalore have just seen a lot of rains already this year.
Yeah.
So it's good to know that some of us still have a positive inclination towards rain. It's always good to have
How is
rains.
how is the rain situation right now in Bangalore? Is it like
It
subside now?
Yeah, it's subsided. It's much better. Not raining as much most places here, and we
Yep,
definitely are not using boats, so that's a good thing.
that's good.
Yeah. All right. We will be starting the session in about 7 minutes, hopefully. And while we are waiting to start, would still love to hear from you guys. How are you doing, Aryan? I just saw you coming in, so I'm just going to pick up on you. Aryan, I think you're on mute. So if you'd like to just unmute and speak up, or if not, chat is always there. And in the meantime, I also see Pankhuri coming in. Hi, Pankhuri. How are you doing?
I'm good, Nisha. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. Thank you. How's the festival season for you guys? Extremely busy?
Very, very busy. Gearing up for it.
Gearing up for it. Good, good. And I'm guessing that there's a lot happening with respect to traffic, with respect to marketing, with respect to inventory management, all of that, correct?
Yes, yes. So we're really looking forward to this session today to, to make sure that we have everything on track before it's on our head.
Yep, yep.
Pressure on Tanisha now.
Um, yeah, well, the goal of these sessions is to just give takeaways to you guys. We know that not a lot of this can be done given the short time that we have before Diwali, but what we would like to do via this session is, we want the content to be with you. And so every time you run a season sale or a sale season prep, you can kind of anytime go back to this content and this checklist and then make sure that everything is in line. So maybe not everything this time, but definitely a lot of these things can be implemented anytime you run a season sale, right? So that's the whole point. Awesome, thank you. We are still seeing folks joining in. Let me see who else
Hi
has
Nisha.
started.
Hi Nisha, I'm Tirumala here.
Hi, Tirumala, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. How are you doing? Yeah, hi all.
Good, good,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, yesterday for the festival session one, I'm not able to attend because of some internal meeting, emergency
Yeah.
meeting. Yeah, is there any recordings of the yesterday session is there, Nisha? I can go through it?
Sure. Yes, we will be sending the recordings of the sessions at the end of day 3. So
Okay.
you will receive PDF versions of all of the content that we've shared, so that you have that content. You will also get a recording of all of the sessions. So you will have the videos as well. You will also get a checklist of sorts, whereby you can actually see 1, 2, 3 done. This is pending. This is not pending, etc. You will get that too. And plus chat transcripts. So any chat that we've had with our participants will also be shared, so that anything that was asked as questions and we've shared resources, you will have that too. So the point is, while you are attending these sessions live, it's good that if you are able to attend the live session, so that you get the content on that day itself, rather than waiting for it to come through to you, right? So the wait is the only point.
Yeah, it's a correct point. Thank you. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. And while we wait, I would, again, just like yesterday, like to understand and run a quick poll with you guys. So if you guys can quickly let us know what is your number 1 challenge that you face at the moment. We would love to know that. Are you trying to acquire the right customer, but your ads are reaching the wrong customers? Are you facing a challenge with respect to conversion rates, whereby you are receiving traffic to your site, but you're unable to convert your customers, and you see a lot of drop-offs between product pages and checkout plus purchases? Is it difficult for you to retain loyal customers? So you have a lot of repeat customers coming to your website, but then they bounce off and perhaps are not buying with you anymore. Or are you finding it difficult to find the right tech partner for you? So I know that we went through a lot of things yesterday with respect to optimizing your page load speed for your website, and you would need a great dev partner or a tech partner or any partner agency to help you with that if you do not have a tech team. So is that your number 1 challenge this Diwali season or any season? Or is it supply chain management? Are you trying to grow? Are you looking at tier 2, tier 3 cities? Are you facing a challenge with understanding inventory management? Are you facing challenges with integrations? What is your number 1 challenge this festival season? And I'm looking at the responses. It looks like acquiring the right customer and conversions are on the top of the list at the moment. Would love to see more votes coming in. So if you are able to give us a better understanding of what is it that you are facing, we'd be also able to help you with better content and more content going forward. So please give us a better understanding of what your challenges are, so that our team here is able to help you out. And on that note, we are going to wait for 2 more minutes before we end the poll. So folks who have just joined in, we have a poll on your screen. We'd love to know what is the number 1 challenge that you're facing with your e-commerce, your commerce business at the moment. So if you can just vote for your number 1 challenge, we'd be able to help you with better content and more content going forward. So that's the whole goal. I see the chat opening up. So how to reach out to the cart customer other than abandoned cart emails? Great question. And I am hoping that we address that question, especially tomorrow, because we'll be doing a growth hacks and growth session tomorrow. So I'm hoping that question will be addressed tomorrow. But a quick point to take away, reaching out to cart customers could be done via first-party data. I think we just touched upon first-party data yesterday, whereby we said if you have data on your customer that that rests on your Shopify website, which is not resting on third-party websites like your marketplaces or social media websites, you are able to understand what their journey is, and you are able to create better email flows via your email service provider. So you are able to perhaps create a win-back campaign. If you have, say, a back in stock app, you are able to create a restock campaign. If you have a wish list app, you are able to see there are folks who are wish listing products but not purchasing. You're able to get them back again to your website. If you are creating customer segments on your Shopify dashboard using our customer segmentation method, you now know who are those bunch of customers who are viewing pages but not purchasing, who are not reaching cart, and then you can create a campaign. If you see a lot of drop-offs on cart, you are now hopefully able to customize after this session and after Tanisha's session. You're able to customize carts and reach lesser bounce rates, right? So these are just quick ways, but please do attend our session tomorrow, and I'm pretty sure you'll get more. Okay, and we are now close to starting the session off today. I am just ending the poll, and the results are, well, the number one challenge that merchants are facing, that you guys are facing at the moment, is acquiring the right customer. Wow, that's definitely a surprise for me. I thought it would be number two, but this is great insight for us, guys. So thank you. And on that note, over to Trisha.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, and welcome to day 2 of our webinars here for the India merchants. I was just amazed at the number of attendees we had yesterday. We had over 70 people in this virtual room, and that's amazing. It's just a testament to the great work that the India Shopify team is doing, and how we want to support your growth going forward. So just a little bit of housekeeping today. I apologize for a little bit of the background noise on my hand here, but these sessions are recorded. As Nisha said, we'll send you all of the deck notes and everything by email. This will likely come into you on Monday. We have time at the end of today for Q&A, so please remain muted through the session, and you can unmute yourself and ask questions via audio or the chat in that Q&A session. And we'll try to capture any questions that come through as you think of them as well. So just fire them into the chat before that open Q&A session at the end. Please use the raise your hand feature so you can maintain a bit of a queue and answer your questions in order. And if you have any more questions, find a way to reach us. Myself, I work with India merchants as well as Nisha and some of our other MSFs. So we're all here to help you and would love to book in calls to get to know your business better. So quickly, a recap from yesterday. Again, as Nisha mentioned in our warm-up, we had a really great session where we talked about site speed optimization and tips and tricks, and Marianne ran through a lot of great spicy questions and answers at the end, so thank you. And today we are going, so if you just take a quick look here, here's the recap. We're going to run, this is sort of the checklist and strategies that we'll send over to you, but good things for you to think about as you're looking at your site speed. And today we are here to talk to you about customization and personalization. Very exciting, with a big meaty space for Q&A at the end. And again, my name is Trisha. I work in the merchant success team here in APAC alongside Nisha, and we're very excited for this.
Nisha, you are on mute, Nisha.
Thanks, Jagan. For folks who do not know who Jagan is, Jagan works with Shopify. He is helping us coordinate this great webinar series that we are doing at Shopify. And we hope that you find value via these webinar series, always open to questions, feedback, and more questions via our support desk, any emails that we send you. So just like Trisha suggested, fire away your questions while the sessions are in progress. And once the session ends, hopefully we are able to see a lot of those meaty questions that you have during the Q&A sessions. All right, to start with our content for today, we will be covering automation as well as customizations as a part of our agenda today, which means we'll be covering a few plus features that you might be using and might not be using. We'll start off with automation, which means you will be able to understand which of those manual tasks can you actually delete using some of the automations that Shopify provides, and then focus on the more important tasks, which is how to acquire that right customer, or perhaps how to convert customers, right? So to give you a quick snapshot of what the session today would look like, we understood that the first goal that merchants are looking at this year is growing revenue. And I think from the conversations we've had, we see two challenges there as well. One is definitely converting customers, which would also mean if you are acquiring the right customer, and which aligns to how personalized is your user experience on your website? How great is it? Is the page loading properly? Do you have enough features enabled so that you're using those features to personalize the experience, customize the experience? And for you to even look at these features and understand and implement those, do you have enough time so that you are able to focus on these tasks, right? So first off, we are going to make sure that you save on resource time, and then we are going to give you a lot of ideas on how to use scripts and how to customize your checkout process. Scripts and checkout will be covered by Tanisha, who comes from Marmeto, and we'll definitely be introducing her before we go over to those sessions. Today's sessions will be a little longer because we are covering a lot, and we want to make sure that we are also responding to your questions. So please bear with us. We will give you a short break in between just so that we all stretch and come back to the sessions revived. Now, with all of that said, going forward, here is what Shopify Flow and Launchpad, what can that do for you? Hi, I'm here to talk about Shopify Flow and Launchpad and how they can help you automate your business. Shopify Flow. Shopify Flow is an out-of-the-box e-commerce automation solution that enables you to eliminate manual tasks, start in seconds with easy-to-use templates, and help you focus on growth. Shopify Flow has automated over 1 billion decisions every month. We've seen more than 14,000 unique jobs completed by Flow. More than 150 custom use cases were solved every week using Shopify Flow. We've seen merchants see higher average order value with custom promotions using Shopify Flow along with Shopify functions or scripts. Here are 4 thoughts by 4 different merchants who have used Shopify Flow. So in the first example, you see the merchant talk how Shopify Flow has helped them build brand loyalty and grow their traffic and word of mouth automatically by using a customer segmentation workflow that resulted in more than 40,000 visits to their site in 7 days. In the second example, you see how important it was for the merchant to save on resource or even time and money using Shopify Flow. In the third one, you see that Shopify Flow was helpful to the merchant because it was able to consolidate what a number of apps were doing for the merchant, which meant fewer third-party solutions in the mix and hence fewer code on the Shopify website. In the fourth example, again, you see that Shopify Flow has helped the merchant automate a lot of tasks, and hence the merchant was able to tackle the more important challenges that was helpful to grow their business. Shopify Flow works on trigger condition action logic, which means a trigger would be an event in Shopify or via an app. A condition would be somewhat like an if and then statement, which determines if a workflow should run. An action would be the end of the workflow or the task that needs to be actioned in the store or on an app. Here are a few Shopify Flow examples that you can use this sales season. So let's say you want to segment your customers based on their lifetime spend and then show different types of discounts at checkout this sales season. Or let's say you want to tag your customers to see if they are discount hunters and then again customize their experience during checkout. You can do this via Shopify Flow and automate this workflow. So for example, you're going to say when an order is paid or an order is created, first check if the amount is greater than, let's say, 1,000 rupees or 2,000 rupees, then add customer tags. So we would add a gold VIP tag if the spend value is higher. We would add a silver VIP tag if the spend is lower. And then you can either add loyalty points or reward points to the wallet, or you can also ensure that you're running a different script for these customers based on the tag that you've now created. Another great example for the sales season would be hiding, reordering, and pausing marketing on out-of-stock products. Why would you want to spend on those products that go out of stock, right? So what you're going to do is when the inventory quantity has changed, you're going to first check if the quantity has changed from 1 to 0, and then hide the product. And then you're going to email your marketing team to say, hey, this product with set ID and the SKU is out of stock. So please stop ads on this product. And you're also going to be informing your stock or your inventory team to reorder this product so that not a lot of customers get disappointed that they don't find this product on your store. Another great example is using Shopify Flow to automatically remove product tags on, say, limited edition products or, say, new arrivals or, say, sales products. So let's say you are collaborating with an influencer or a different brand and creating limited edition products for a set time. So this would just be running, let's say, for a week or a month. And you would want a set of products to be removed from that collection page after this time. And you can actually now do all of that using Shopify Flow. Another quick tip is, since Shopify Flow works on an organizational level, which means that if you have many stores under the same organization, let's say in other expansion stores, you are now able to create and edit workflows, or you can export and import into one or more stores without having to log in and out of each of those stores. With Shopify Flow, you can start automating in seconds and put all of those manual tasks on autopilot. So if you haven't done these tasks this sales season already, you can actually kick off campaigns based on product tags. You can tag, segment, reward customers, run discounts and scripts on checkout. Again, using a Shopify Flow, you can automate inventory management for low stock products. You can also automate high risk orders and cancel them or prompt a review. And you can notify customers, especially those VIP customers, when a sale goes live. Launchpad. Now, if you are someone who has to stay awake until 11:59 p.m. to set a campaign live, then Launchpad is for you. With Launchpad, you can schedule and monitor revenue generating events like sales campaigns, flash sales, product releases, and content changes, all at a single section at one event page.
So you don't have to really wait until 11:59 p.m. to switch themes, and just make sure that you click on that publish button. You don't have to go live within campaign and new products at 11:59 p.m. You can automate all of that using Launchpad. How does Launchpad work? Once you've installed Launchpad, create an event, set the start date and end date, then automate. So you can actually launch themes, you can launch products, you can set pricing and discounts all at one place. And when you go live with the event, you are then able to monitor the event in real time. And once the event is done, you can gather data about the success of the event at a single page. A few examples for your season sales would be, let's say you are going to release a set of products this festival season. You can use Launchpad to create an event. You can then select individual products, manage the inventory levels, extend that to a different sales channel, so you can hide that, from social media sales and only publish that those products on your online sales channels. You can also ensure that you're running specific discounts on collection pages and products that you are going live with. So you can automatically set discounts for select products or collections, or you can also adjust the flat rate price at variant level in case you don't want a generalized percentage discount. And what you can also do is, if you have scripts, line item scripts that you want to go live with, you can go live with those line item scripts with this campaign as well. Or if you want to create more secrecy and urgency, you can actually password protect the page right before you go live, so that you have more customers waiting for what's going to happen, and they have more urgency to get to the sales. Once you go live with the event, you are able to monitor its progress in real time. And once the event is done, you are then able to understand what were the total sales that were generated via the event, orders placed, what were the average order values looking like, data on the best sellers and how many of those were sold, and how was the customer conversion rate looking like. So how many customers, how many unique visitors did you get to the event? How many of those went to the product pages? And how many reached checkout versus how many purchased? All of that is now available via one single dashboard and one single page. So with Launchpad, you can now take the stress out of sales, eliminate the complexity of running events and campaigns, and you can release products and update inventory across channels. You can apply discounts to specific products or entire collections. You can design campaign themes and update them automatically without having to sit at 11:59 p.m. and click on publish. And you can revert your changes once the event is done. Here's a customer story that highlights the usage of Shopify Flow as well as Launchpad. So Cozy Kids came to Shopify Plus and soon found out that manual tasks took up more than 60% of their time. And when they started using Shopify Flow and Launchpad along with scripts, they instantly saw a boost in traffic by 40% and an increase in return customer rate by 49% during that same time. So some of the ways that they use Shopify Flow were they notified marketing to stop ads on products or with low inventory, save on ad dollars, hide limited edition products after sale, so you're not disappointing those customers. You're tracking and tagging orders as refunds and cancellations. Again, a great manual task for you to look at. Analyze this data once the sales is complete, and run scripts at checkout based on the customer tag that you've added using Shopify Flow. With Launchpad, they were able to publish a new theme. So they wanted to go live with a new a moon landing page theme for their store, and they published the new theme. They made sure that they're publishing new products and collections and going live with specific discounts, all under a single campaign without having to stay awake at 11:59 p.m.
All right. That was all about Shopify Flow and Launchpad. It's just interesting, or sometimes even difficult, to see that a lot of your merchants are spending a lot of time just to tag products, customers. So that is a lot of resource time that you guys are losing out on. So if you guys are not using Shopify Flow, please do install Shopify Flow. Give a look to the templates that you already have. For example, we actually have a template that says if an order is say tagged in a particular way, then perhaps hold the order. You can also look at a template which says during this time, run a script or run a line item script. So a Shopify Flow would also enable you to kind of run a script. So for example, if you're trying to give gifts with a certain purchase, you can create a Shopify Flow which says if the purchase value or the cart value is greater than a certain number, then add a gift, which would be a line item purchase or a line item script, right? So please make use of Shopify Flow. And if you haven't made use of Launchpad, and if you are trying to look at different dashboards to understand how your campaign or your flash sale or any type of sale is doing, Launchpad is the one that can come for help to you. So you can actually create a lot of events, look at how the event is progressing, and even make a copy of the same event, campaign event later on to see, where should you be optimizing the next sale, or how should you be optimizing the next sale, right? So this is a brief overview on Shopify Flow and Launchpad. We will take the questions later on when we open up the Q&A session. But we are now moving toward the next part of our session today, which is going to be really exciting. A lot of you have questions on how to optimize your checkout, how to create personalized experience, how to create scripts, for example. So we'll be asking Tanisha to briefly introduce herself and present the session that Marmeto has created. But here are some quick insights and trends that we see as far as promotions and discounts and scripts goes. And as you can see, a lot of merchants actually do a site-wide sale when they are doing season sales and promotions. But please make sure that you're not losing out on your profit margin. There is a lot that you can do with your discounting, your scripts. What we are also seeing as a trend is giving a free gift or a membership or loyalty points to customers. So that is another thing that you can take away. And I know that we have been talking about the abandoned cart strategy in the chats. So if you haven't created an abandoned cart strategy, here are some quick ways for you to think or consider, right? Again, these are not things that you can do immediately, perhaps, but perhaps right after the Diwali sale, if you are running a Christmas sale, for example, this is something that you can implement and look at based off of the data that you see during Diwali sales. So these are the trends and insights that we've seen. And over to Marmeto, over to Tanisha from Marmeto to quickly take us through on scripts and custom checkout examples. Tanisha, over to you.
Thank you, Nisha. Thank you for a great session on Launchpad. So I'll quickly introduce myself. I'm Tanisha Mahajan, and every day I spend almost 7 to 8 hours enabling e-commerce with amazing people at Marmeto, and a considerable time afterwards on shopping on those e-commerce sites. So I can fairly say I'm in the very beginning of inception and also the consumption. So there are a few insights from my day-to-day activities that we have collated, and we wanted to share them with you. And we really hope that it can help you in the coming festive season. So we'll start the first session on scripts. Scripts is one amazing feature from Shopify And I think Nisha will let me, hand over the session to you guys so that we can go ahead with it. Hello everyone, welcome to today's session. Today we are going to discuss one of the most psychologically impacted part of selling, that is customization or uniqueness. As we all know, we all feel we are different. We all feel that there is a need to be different. And with this thought comes a pool of people or a unique set of people who all feel that they're unique in itself. They have their own journeys to map to. And it's not just people. I feel there are a lot of brands out there who are trying to be unique and actually are unique in some way or the other. So, how do you cater to such a wide pool of wide and unique requirements? And how do you understand what is there and what is not out there? What you do is you try to make a journey or a set of journeys or multiple sets of journeys just to make sure everybody is included and everybody is kind of heard of. So how do you achieve is you can do that by customizations. You can have scripts, you can have checkouts, you can do much more about it. So every year we know there is a huge pressure on a lot of brands to achieve particular sets of targets. Some customers, some are revenue based, some are average order values based, some are just trying to create a niche in themselves. And everybody, as we know, has a unique set of problems. But those problems usually fall under a similar umbrella where everybody is trying to achieve one goal, that is a unique identity. So there is this number on my screen, which is 8.3 billion long. So what does this number mean for all of us here? This is number is not just a number, it's a pool. It's the pool of what we can achieve. It's the upper limit of what happened last year. And this year, as we know, every year things increase, people, have better aspirations and they try to get ahead of themselves. Every year we see that brand increases their targets, increases their end goals and try to achieve them every year through some or other reasons. So it's not just festive sales, it's also about those times when your sales are very high, where there is a lot of propensity for your end customers to come and purchase from you. So how do you gauge all of them, maintain your brand identity, which is unique, and then still cater to them and then increase year on year? So there are a lot of strategies that people, start with. And the most basic, I feel, any strategy work is when you know the basics, when you know that what is out there and what you're trying to do. So the clarity between what you want to be and where you are is very important. But at the same time, you should know what you're offering and to whom. Who is your end customer? What are you trying to do? How are you trying to woo them really comes later when you know what they want. They want their needs and how you're trying to, bridge the gap and make them one. So there are a lot of strategies that we face and we see. They all, as we all know, come under a very similar umbrella. But then there are a lot of things, a lot of strategies like personalization, bulk discountings, creating a platform which is very user friendly. You shorten their journey. You don't try to, distract them with anything. You offering them what they want, which may be high discounts, a good product, or just the need to be heard, right? So there are a lot of recommendations that usually come around when you're trying to do something. Some of them are tried and tested, and as we say as Marmeto, we have been trying to experiment with everything. So there are a lot of failures, there are a lot of successes, and we just want to share a few stories with you where you can, help them, add them, and help achieve whatever targets you have. It can be anything, increasing your sales target, increasing your customers, or just trying to be out there and being different. So there's one feature that I really like about Shopify and Shopify Plus is the scripts. So scripts, as just the name suggests, they are written codes. They personalize the carts and checkout. So you can do much more that you've been thinking in your head on your store. You can create discounts based on cart items. You can create shipping pages where you can do away with shipping altogether based on whatever there is in the cart. You can add payment methods which are never there, or you can show payment methods just to certain set of people. So you're trying to create segments and create journeys, but you're not creating different stores. You're just using your one sole Shopify store and making the most out of it and using it for what you need. Right. So let's start off with one very basic example, the bulk discounting. You want your customers to increase their average cart. You give them a discount. They really love your product. And with the discounts, they want to buy more and more of it because they don't know when they might be getting the discount. So they're adding products to the cart, they're increasing the volume, but they're not getting anything out of it. So they just feel that they're being a little needy. A little discount might help. And you also feel that with a little bit of discount, you can increase the cart value, achieve your revenue, and still retain the customer. So how you can do that is you can create a script where you add more discounts based on the volume of the cart item. What happens at the end is you're happy, you have a higher average order value cart, and your customers are happy because they got the product at a discounted rate and they're happy to just to be associated with you. All right. Another use case that I really like is when I have to add different products from store, from different categories, or I can say different shops or different shelves. And when I'm adding that to the cart, I hope that I can get more discounts because I'm trying to, increase my cart value, and you're also getting a bigger chunk of what I'm trying to spend here. With more discounts, I get more nudges to, I'm happy that I have the product in my hand, and I'm trying to add more to it so that I can get more discounts. So just a race, it's a psychological race between what the end customer is trying to get and what you're trying to get. So you can create a script which increases the discounts based on the cart value. You don't even have to add it to a particular product. You just have to, add it to your cart and you are good to go. Your customers are happy, and at the end, everything that is happening for good. All right. So moving on, let's say you're running a very big festive discount sale. And with a lot of a good festive sale, a lot of people are compelled to buy a higher average order value product because they know, maybe with a little bit of discount, it's okay if I can save some money and add the product to cart. But at the same time, you're afraid that this might increase a risk which you run with the COD, because COD comes with their own set of complexities in the supply chain, and you don't want to do that. Why not, if you don't want to have that problem in the first place, don't create a COD option for that. Scripts, yes, scripts let you do that. Scripts can hide the shipping method, or the payment method based on what is there in the cart, which is very good because I feel you can save yourself, and at the same time the customer is happy to pay out of the pocket, save some money, and then trying to make a good deal. Everybody makes a good deal, everybody's happy, and that's how the entire premise of having a festival or having a sale is all about. The next thing that we have is you can show certain payment gateways to certain set of customers. So let's say you are running a store and you're running it internationally as well. And whenever you feel that there is a PIN code where the product or the shipping information is related to an international gateway, and you don't want to offer them, Indian payment methods, and you just want to, move them to PayPal. So what happens is whenever you can reorder your payment gateways, you can make the purchase in PayPal. And that ways, your end customer is secure because they know where to go and they're not lost in the entire process, and you're not losing out on anything. That's how powerful the scripts are. Scripts don't just make things happen, they guide and they create customer journeys that are never there. So there are a lot of other useful scripts. I wanted to cover everything, but I have a very limited time span here. So there are a few use cases. As I said, scripts can be used on your cart items, your shipping pages, or your payment pages. So when with cart items, you can offer, some amount off based on certain products. You can spend at least this and get this much off. So it all depends upon what you want to try, what you're trying to do with the items in your cart. Another is you can have shipping customizations, like you can waive off shipping with X number of products, or you can decrease the shipping, or you can remove shipping altogether for some products. You can also give special rate for special zip codes, and you can have specific shipping rates for specific customers. That's all on you. Another is the payment methods, as we have specified, that you can hide your CODs, you can reorder your payment gateways, you can only show payment gateway for specific countries, and you can only show gateways if the particular cart amount is more than that. So that's the script power. That's how script create journeys that are never there, and they let your end customer feel, accounted, and you don't have to worry about a lot of operational issues in between, because at the end they're all covered, right?
All right. That was a lot about scripts. And I think the use cases aligned with the insights and trends that we see. It also aligned with how to increase or your personalization strategy, how to increase your cart rate, how to decrease cart abandonment. So if you are personalizing your cart experience, your discount experience, using scripts, that is a great way for you to save those customers who are bouncing off at cart level, right? So these are some great use cases that Tanisha from Marmeto has covered. There was a call out on chat that asked for how to get in touch with folks from Marmeto. So please reach out to them for a consultancy call at sales@marmeto.com. I'm pretty sure they'd be happy to respond to you guys, right? The next part that we are going to cover is custom checkout, but I know we've been on this session for some time now, and we would like to give you guys a quick short break so that the rest of the sessions we are revived. We have another 45 minutes left to cover custom checkout scenarios, and then we'll be opening up the Q&A session so that you can ask questions to Shopify as well as Marmeto, and have any points that we haven't addressed in the content already, get those addressed during the Q&A sessions. And in the meantime, if you still want to park your questions in the chat, please park your questions and we'll get back to you, respond via chat, or even after the sessions are over, we'll make sure that we address those questions one-on-one. All right, guys. So it's time to take a short break. It is 11:42 a.m. in India right now. So we'll be back in 7 minutes, which would be, let's say we are back by 11:50, right? So see you guys back at 11:50. Make sure that you stretch, take a cup of coffee, tea, and come back revived. All right, folks, we'll be rejoining the meeting in 2 minutes. We'll be covering a bunch of checkout customizations. I'm pretty sure those customizations are going to be extremely valuable for you guys. If some of those customizations haven't been implemented already, ensure that you note those down and you can speak with any of our merchant success managers at Shopify with their consultation call, or speak with the Marmeto team to get more information on what can work for you. We will be back in 2 minutes. So there's 2 more minutes left to get your cup of coffee or cup of tea. All right, 1 more minute to go, guys, and we are going to play the custom checkout scenarios and case studies for you next. This is also going to be a short session, and post that session, we'll be opening up the Q&A session, so make sure that you are taking notes on the checkout customizations that you're really interested to implement, especially this season. And then you can ask any questions that you have to ensure that you have your blockers cleared and addressed before you implement those. We are going to give folks just another minute to come back to their seat with their cup of coffee and start the next session. 1 more minute left, guys. And I'm hoping that the sessions were of help to you, Tanisha. I think the script scenarios are going to be so valuable for our merchants this Diwali season, especially. I think those use cases that we covered regarding tier discounting, especially, I think those are really going to be of value. I know that you know shoppers like you and me are going to go on websites and you know what works for us. If we see discounts based on how we purchased previously, we know that we tend to convert faster. So, you know, now that I know that's perhaps like a tiered discounting feature that someone is running on their website, right? So I think those things were really interesting to cover, and I'm hoping that our merchants make use of that this season as well. And I'm now looking forward to the next session. So we are now going to move to the next session. Folks, again, please park your questions while the session is in progress, and we'll get to them either during the Q&A session, or we'll respond to your questions over chat. So here's more on custom checkout and scenarios that can work for you.
So I'm going to talk about a philosophy that we very frequently follow at Marmeto. Us being a business ourselves, we understand that business do not work in silos. There's nothing that can, a business wing might be thinking which is not linked to your operations, or whatever your operation is thinking is not linked to your business or to your strategy. So everything is interlinked and everything comes full circle when you're trying to, solve problems for everyone, right? So in this case, I'm going to start off with the use case that we have. And this use case has been faced by a lot of people because they're trying to be omni-channel and making an impact on wider audience. So it's not just about dealing with customers, it's also dealing about businesses. So it's a very critical, a very classic case that we feel that comes up is the need to capture GST details, especially in India. So how do you do that? Do you send out a form to your customer? Do you create a separate website just to solve this simple problem? No. What you can do here is you can have a custom checkout facility where you are able to add fields which impact you and your business. So what happens for your business is they're trying to connect with more and more customers, and your operations are also aligned because they can get the GST details and cross verify them if they like to. So it creates a full circle journey for you, and you also understand that it's not very difficult. Your site can be both. You don't have to create multiple channels and then manage them all together in separate silos. You can just work on one and make the most out of it. That's just one example. And when we open any checkout, there are a lot of customization that creates a unique journey for every customer that comes to you. It can be anyone. It can be a single person, it can be an organization, it can be non-organizations, it can be anything that you are trying to serve. You don't have to be very different. You don't have to create channels just to make that impact. So talking about challenges, there's another challenge that we all as merchants face is the mobile number validation. So as as a customer who is trying to get the order right, he or she doesn't pay attention to while adding numbers in their mobile, and they continue to shipping. They're not able to verify or cross check what went wrong when their order is not with them. And at the same time, you're also not able to understand what happened here. It is just a number, and anything, it's just so easy and intuitive for all of us to add our mobile numbers everywhere. How can somebody can go wrong? So if somebody is deliberately trying to not put the right details, you can catch them right away. And if your customer is trying to do something right and they're not able to do it, they will also be able to find what's the problem and what's the issue. So it creates a full circle journey again, one for your customer, one for your operations, and one for you when you're actually trying to gauge an impact. With festive seasons, there are a lot of changes, a lot of issues that can come up. So let's try to solve one problem at a time and see how it can impact your current store and how it can impact the entire journey, not just for the business but also for your operations. All right, moving on. Another classic problem that comes with India, but in particular, which I believe is the birth place for COD orders COD orders, is the need to verify if the COD order is not going to default. Is going to check whether if it is the right thing to do or not. So you can have an OTP verification. Just send them an OTP, let them verify, and make sure that whatever they're trying to do is they get through the entire circle with verification. And you also know that, okay, this order is verified, this mobile number is right there, and we know the customer is over there. What happens for you is you reduce your RTOs by almost 18%. And your customer is also assured that, okay, I'm putting my mobile number, they will come to me when the need is, when they actually will come to me. All right. So now talking about mobiles in India or anywhere in particular. So when you're using, let's say, you have a discount code running and you're not able to find it, the product is in the cart, you feel very frustrated. You have to go back and search for where the discount was, copy it and paste it, in the discount section. As a customer, I feel frustrated because I know, okay, I don't get the point whether this website is right or not, because if the discount is applicable, it should be right there, right? If it's not right there, where is it and why I'm not able to find it? And for you as a merchant, there are a lot of cart dropouts because people are trying to find the codes, they're not right, they feel frustrated, they don't go through the cart, they entirely drop out from the journey, and you don't understand what went wrong. Such a small thing, such a small basic thing that we all know, the discounts, and you're not able to use it. Why not use something called a single click? So just by a click, you'll be able to understand these are the discount, these are the coupons that are there, and I can just add them to my cart and make the most out of it. So these are some of these customizations that I wanted to elaborate because they're very closely related to discounting, to COD orders, and what happens when you receive them in bulk. So if I'm receiving 1,000 orders a day, I know my problems are going to be many, many fold. So why not solve one problem at a time and make the journey easier for you and for your operations as well? So there are a few more custom checkout use cases that we have. One that we have discussed are the OTP verifications, capturing GSTs, and all that. At the same time, you can have product recommendations on cart. You can have freebie recommendations on cart, or you can reduce the value of some products, show them on cart, and let people buy them. It reduces your, your inventory of certain items, and your customer also feel valued. You can customize your checkout depending upon your brand preferences. You can eliminate shipping if you're not doing much with the shipping options you have. You can restrict serviceability. You can capture additional mobile numbers to avoid RTOs. You can have third party gift cards, loyalty points all stacked over there. And you have pin code verifications just to ensure that the addresses are right. And there are much more that you can do with a custom checkout. Is there are a lot of problems a lot of unique businesses face. You might be selling to B2Bs, your product is very unique, it is maybe perishable or it's non-perishable, or people buy it in bulk. You can segregate the amount and then segregate the quantity and then let your users buy it. So there are a lot of journeys that can be created. With Shopify, you don't have a standard platform which is just reliable. You also get a platform that works for you, and your end customers, and make the entire journey easy and seamless for everyone, right? So with this thought, I'm going to leave it to you to think about what you can do and what you can go through, how the entire things are. So that's just the end of my presentation. Over to you, team.
All right. Thanks a lot for that, Tanisha. I know this is coming out of all of the experiences and all of the use cases that we've seen thus far with Shopify merchants. So this is great content to take away. So thanks a lot for that. And with that, we are on the 1 hour note right now. So we will be opening up the Q&A session for you guys. Yes, Trisha?
Yeah, firstly, I just want, before we go into Q&A, that we really want to thank Marmeto and Tanisha for joining today. I think one of the most beautiful things about Shopify is our ecosystem and our Plus partners. And Marmeto is definitely at the top of our love list for Plus partners in India. So for you to share all of this insights and value with the people on this call and our merchants today is just, so we're very grateful, and thank you. And for all of the merchants on the call that are not working with Marmeto, as we mentioned, they're more than happy to answer any questions that you might have off of the back of some of the great recommendations that she shared today.
All right. Thank you, Trisha. Thank you, Trisha and Nisha, for the kind words. It's really amazing to be part of this webinar and share our thoughts on what we feel should be done. And thank you again for providing us this platform. We always feel that enabling e-commerce together is all of our end objectives. So we should take it that way. And I think it's an amazing platform. Thank you so much, guys.
Awesome. Thanks a lot again, team. And now we are opening up the Q&A sessions, guys. So anyone who has a question, please use the raise hand feature. Raise your hand so that we have a queue ready and we can take questions one by one. We have Jagan from Shopify as well as Narayan. If you don't know Narayan, Narayan was on the call yesterday. He works with partners and helps partners with any custom solutions that they require. And so we'll be opening up the Q&A session right now. Sayan, yes, you first. Please unmute yourself and go ahead with your question.
Yeah, hi guys. Just two questions around checkout. So, first of all, you have been using scripts on page. So my question was, does each speed on a checkout page impact or when we use multiple scripts? And my second question is about the application of Google Analytics on the checkout. How do we do that? To help on that.
So Shayan, I'll take this question up. Your voice was breaking in between, so I'll repeat the questions for everyone. The first question was that how scripts are scalable And how can somebody use multiple scripts? And the other question was, how can we use Google Analytics along with scripts? Am I correct, Shayan?
Sorry, Tanisha, a bit different. So my first question was that when we use multiple scripts on our checkout pages, how does that impact our page speed on those checkout pages? That is point number one. Point number two is we have been trying to implement Google Analytics on the checkout pages, but have not been able to do that really correctly. So just wanted to help how to we do that really effectively.
Understood. Shan, to answer your first question, we can use multiple scripts. Like we can use either line items with shipping script or shipping script with a payment script. So we can use multiple scripts at a time, and they do not, reduce the page speed because they apply on the cart values or whatever there is in the checkout or the cart. So it does not impact the overall speed of both your cart and checkout. So that concern is there. Another part is using Google Analytics for your checkout. So there are many ways to use Google Analytics. There are a lot of insights that come from there. So it entirely depends upon the end use case. If you're trying to use scripts, for example, in conjugation with Google Analytics, that's not possible because scripts do not call any databases. They do not work on that. But there is a turnaround where you can use your analytics and insights to create segments and then target them through scripts. So it entirely depends upon what is the end use case and what are we trying to achieve. There is always a possibility and there's always a workaround. I hope that helps. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and just to add to that, I think what we should really understand is that scripts is a way to customize and personalize the checkout experience, right? And usually people tend to use scripts to provide tiered discounting at checkout, which kind of again helps you to reduce abandoned cart rate. So scripts, since it's usually enabled at checkout, like Tanisha suggested, it won't really impact your PDP or a home page load speed. But if you are using multiple scripts at one time, you should do a health check whereby you see if there are any scripts that are conflicting each other. And it's always a good practice to make sure that you are using scripts only for, say, certain campaigns, and you have certain scripts enabled, always on. So that way you always know that things are not conflicting with each other. There's not a lot of scripts that is on your checkout, so your checkout is not heavy. So that's just a best practice to follow. I'm going to open this question up again to Narayan as well to just share 2 cents that he has. And on Google Analytics, we would love to know what is it that you are finding difficult to do via Google Analytics at checkout. So if you have like a further question, or just if you have a deep dive point, if you can just put that on chat, we'll pick that up on chat as well. And in the meantime, Narayan, any other information to share on scripts best practices or analytics best practices at checkout?
Yeah, thanks, Nisha. I think you pretty much summed it up from a script standpoint, right? Especially when you have multiple scripts in conjugation with each other, right? Like a line item script with a shipping script, right? So in that particular case, especially when they are applied on the checkout, since again scripts are written in Ruby at this point, you must to a certain extent keep in mind how convoluted that logic is, right? Especially when you're trying to apply it across different line items, you might probably have to loop through, the products that you've added to the cart. So that could, add to a certain level of complexity, which might affect your page's performance, right? So just make sure that you don't have like a very heavy script running, especially when you're trying to combine multiple scripts together. But apart from that, as you mentioned, since they don't apply it in the home page or collections or PDP, we don't have to really worry about how impactful it will be from a performance standpoint.
Sure, guys. Thank you so much for answering these questions. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Aaron. And I'm just going to drop you a note on chat regarding setting up Google Analytics. If you have more questions, just reach out to us after the session or even via chat, and we'll address this. Right?
Sure. Thanks.
All right. Next in queue is Mithilesh. Mithilesh, if you can unmute yourself and fire your questions away.
Okay, hi guys. There are three questions that I would like to ask. The first one being, do you guys have a prime example of a website that does good on Google Lighthouse standpoint? Because Shopify is quite known for being difficult to deal with when it comes to core web vitals. So if we can have a website that is very high on the page speed inside scores, that would be good. My second question would be, is there any brand which is ready to share their success story with respect to e-commerce in a particular domain? Because I know Shopify caters to a lot of wide array of clients. So I'm sure I will find a company or a brand that has done very well on Shopify in my category. So these are the two questions, and the last question that I'll be having is, where is the best place to add GST during the checkout flow? If you can answer these three questions, I would be pretty much satisfied.
Awesome. I'm going to take up the first two and get back to you on those. I will let Tanisha, along with Narayan and Marmeto team, answer the last one, please. Yes, go ahead, Tanisha.
So for the GST part, Mithilesh, the third question that you had, where is the best part to add it in your checkout journey is in the information section. So as a user, my psychology is I'm adding my information. It's better to capture everything right there. Because if I'm adding these fields, maybe in shipping or payment, it will, psychologically it's not right because I have to maybe add more information. I'm not sure how many steps will proceed after this. So it's better to gather all this information in the information page and then move on to your payments, the shipping, and then the payment page. I hope this answers your question. We also have Prabhat from our team who can answer if there is some other thought in your mind about this one.
Prabhat, any thoughts on that? And I think I would love Narayan to few points. Yeah, go ahead, Prabhat.
Yeah, as Tanisha told, right, to add this GST, it will be better place. The information page is a better one in this case, right? Because it's very much perceived that all the information is collected there. There are multiple clients who are doing this. So Headphone Zone is one of the example where they are doing this GST collection, right? And after that, you can also tag these orders to send them an invoice, right, with Shopify Flow as well. So that's it.
Narayan, any thoughts to add to that?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much aligned. So as of today, we use checkout.liquid customization in order to bring about this piece of information right within checkout, the GST details. But going forward down the line, we also have a much more modular approach where with checkout extensibility, you will now have an app-driven approach to all of these customization, whether it's collecting GST details or any other use case, right? So which means that merchants and developers alike will have that ability to develop this as an app and then try to plug it into different sections within the checkout experience itself using the new checkout editor, right? So you can then even experiment, having this information in different parts of checkout. But ideally, I would concur with what Tanisha and Prabhat said. It should be on the information page.
Awesome. Yeah. So that's your last question there, Mithilesh. And to respond to your first question, I guess you asked questions on case studies with respect to paid speed optimization. Now, what happens with that is we are trying to publish more case studies which is specific to the Indian India merchants and Indian audience. So that will be coming soon. But as far as publishing clear numbers go, we would not be able to do that very clearly because obviously it is sensitive data that we would be publishing. Also, site performance is subjective, right? So today you might optimize a bunch of things on your website, and tomorrow you might be running a campaign and adding certain banners, which might again impact the page speed. There might be a difference in numbers. So publishing numbers with respect to performance, it would always be, since there is always a plus minus, I'm not sure how successfully we'd be able to do that. I am putting out a link to a white paper for you guys out in the chat in a few moments. So you can download that white paper and ensure that you're reading through the case studies and examples via that white paper. That should help. And point 2 is, if you are trying to benchmark your website on a different website, you can always run that other website on a web page speed tool and see what the numbers are looking like. You should be looking at how many files are getting loaded, and is that an apple-to-apple comparison with respect to your website? Is the industry type same, and hence the customer, is it going to be the same journey? And then trying to see if you can benchmark that website for your page load speed. So that's just another quick tip or a hack for you to follow with respect to page load speed data. And I hope that helps. Does that answer all of your questions, Mithilesh, for now?
Yes, just two replies. One, with respect to numbers being in the case studies, I'm not interested in numbers, but I'm more interested in way and approach a brand has taken to get to a certain level or popularity in terms of traffic. So I wouldn't be looking at numbers, but just a plain case study of what they did in order to improve their online presence would be good. Second would be, I'm comparing to the biggest competitors that there are in my particular niche. All I see are low performance scores on web.dev, that is the Google page insights. So, a lot of brands being very, well, let's say, owned by some celebrities, owned by some big players, are falling in terms of performance on Google Lighthouse. So I was asking if there is any website that has done good in this space. We could use it as an example to see its DOM elements, to see how it performs on FID, FCP, and CLS. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, valid point, Mithilesh. Again, I would say for us to take a look at that, I would say it would be coming soon, especially for an Indian merchant point of view. So we'll keep you updated once we are able to publish something like that for all of us. And 2 is take a look at the white paper example that I have sent over chat. I think that should address some of your points there, because it does give you what has happened. Some case study examples are also being given in that white paper. So make sure that you download a copy of that white paper and go through. I think that should address some of your points.
Sure. Right? Thank you.
Awesome. So now we have Vaibhav next on the list. Vaibhav, if you can unmute yourself and ask any questions with respect to scripts, custom checkout, flows, launchpad, any of the content that we covered today.
Yeah, hi everyone. This is actually a follow-up to the Google Analytics on checkout question. Let's say I want to track how many people actually drop off after filling their email ID, or how many people drop off after filling their address. So I imagine that would be done through Google Tag Manager, but I've been able to actually execute it, actually implement it using Google Tag Manager scripts. So if there's a resource somewhere, or if you can help me understand how to actually do that, because I've tried inserting the Google Tag Manager script in the checkout.liquid file, but the scripts are still unavailable in checkout. So I just wanted some help regarding that.
Got it.
Nisha, I'll take this question.
Yeah.
So I understood your requirement of not being able to capture information on checkout to understand what the user is doing when you're in there, right? So you can use scripts to kind of record those data, where you can have access to data like heat maps and other optimization techniques. So you understand where your customer is actually dropping off and what could be a possible reason. So let's say a user is dropping off from cart after adding a product, or maybe they're dropping off from the checkout when they're not able to add a discount code. So you can understand that discount might be an issue. So you might use some techniques like adding a single click discount over there. So these can be achieved through scripts where we can record these data and can help you with it. So if you want, we can also help you with these details. Prabhat and Amar, you can also back me up here.
Sure, Tanisha. I mean, I'm sure no whatever the information you have provided that summed up it very well. And I just want to add one more point into it. I mean, you mentioned that while implementing the GTM, you are not able to track all these informations while editing the checkout.liquid file. So I'll say while integrating the GTM, Shopify has their own documentation. It exactly shows how to add the library, then how can you add the custom codes to track the information also. And we have already done it for the merchants, and it works well with all the custom solutions also. But if you are still facing any issues, we can take a look how you have implemented it on the checkout.liquid.
Sure,
Yeah,
that
I
sounds
think
great. If you
to
could just help me with the resource there, then that would be actually, yeah, really good.
yeah, perfect. Now, Vaibhav, I'm just trying to look at resources to share immediately. So in case I don't find that right now, we'll be sure to reach out to you with the resource handy. And I think once we reach out to you, you might have some more questions. So again, reach out either to Shopify or Marmeto or any of your partners to understand what can be done further. I know this might be important for you, so please make sure that you have the engagement good.
Yep.
एक
Thank you.
ग्रीट ऐप
ये वाला वो भी होके दिखा
हाँ तो
देगा।
ग्रीट एप्पल एक ग्रीट एप्पल दे दो एक मूंगली
All
भुट्टी
right. And then we have Sanket on the queue.
6 month वाला वो जो है आफ्टर 6 month वाला
Sanket, could you unmute yourself
Yes.
and
Hi.
please ask your questions? Hi.
Yeah, hi. So in between, there was one discussion which I don't remember who had mentioned, but using Shopify flows, it was mentioned that we can also send out invoices to customers. So from an invoicing standpoint, how does Shopify work exactly? Because invoices for us are generally being handled by our WMS. So just wanted to understand on the invoicing aspect.
Great question, Sanket. And I would love to understand which part, is there a specific reason why you want to automate using Shopify Flow to send out your invoices? Because you just mentioned that your IMS is doing that. So is there a certain feature that you're looking at which is not covered with your current system? Is there any specifics that you can further tell me?
So at the time of order being delivered, our WMS partner is not emailing or sending the invoice back to Shopify per se. It is maintaining at the WMS level itself. So our general process right now is, of course, a printed invoice goes with the product, but the thing is that it does not go out as an email as a soft copy to the customer, neither it is present in the account section of the customer. So is there a way we can leverage any functionality of Shopify for invoices, or it has to be dependent on the external systems?
Got it. So one is, to your question, Sanket, one is you would need to look if your current system, your IMS or WMS system, does it integrate with Shopify Flow? So for Shopify Flow to use any third-party apps or integrations, we need to get the event over to Shopify, right? So, and if the event does not come through, the next step would be to look at it via an API perspective. So Shopify Flow can send APIs to a third party, again, via the Flow automation. So you can do that, but that's a roundabout route, in my opinion, right? So the first thing to look at is if there is an integration, then we can look at what events are being captured. If there is any events that can be captured even via your third-party app, so are they able to send us the events, and can that integration come through?
And the second possibility, I think, out of Shopify Flow, you can still try and find APIs within Shopify that can help you do that. So in case you're not able to find an integration with the third-party app as well as Shopify Flow, you can still try and contact our support desk to look for APIs with which your third-party app can actually use those APIs and create more line items within your invoices, right? So that is another possibility that you can look at. So those are two possibilities. In case you have more questions, again, we'll reach out to you one-on-one, or feel free to reach out to support.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we have Amandeep on the queue now. Amandeep, could you please unmute yourself and ask your questions? Amandeep, I think you're still on mute. All right. So I'm not sure if Amandeep was able to unmute themselves, but we will keep going. We have a few more minutes to close these sessions. So guys, if you have any more questions, please raise your hand so that we can address your questions. I think the questions that we have addressed thus far have been regarding page speed that we had covered yesterday. We also talked briefly about scripts and how they can impact page speeds. We have covered topics on custom checkouts. So in case you are trying to find the right API or code to customize your checkout experience, I know we are trying to create a shorter checkout experience for our customers. I know that you would want to create a different login experience for your customers. So all of that is possible via checkout.liquid. So in case you want to discuss case scenarios like that, please raise your hands and we can address those. Apart from that, I think we've been talking about Google Analytics and how that can help you. So we'll make sure that we send some resources away after the sessions, and you have some resources handy that can help you with GA. In case you have more questions, again, please reach out to the larger teams. Ensure that you're reaching out to Plus Support and they will connect you to your merchant success manager, or you can reach out for a consultancy call to Marmeto and they can make sure that they are addressing your questions as well, right? Apart from that, if there are any further questions, we have 5 more minutes before we end our sessions today. Any questions, guys? And we are waiting for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so looks like folks are pretty clear on scripts and checkouts, Tanisha. So I'm very happy that the content has been helpful. I think again, let's make sure that we are reaching out to our merchants with the resources that would be useful for them. And to close the session today, again, making sure that you have contacts ready. So here's how you can reach out to Shopify. You can always reach out to Marmeto by emailing to sales@marmeto.com. So if you have any questions for Marmeto to look at, make sure that you reach out to them. In today's session, we have covered a whole lot of use cases on flows, launchpad, scripts, and custom checkout. If you aren't using those features, make sure that you use those features to increase your conversion rates and that you are converting more customers at checkout, which would in return increase your revenue. And you'd be able to also convert some of those customers that are coming out of your traffic and ads in a much more better way. Tomorrow, we'll be covering a bunch of growth hacks for you to take a look at. So we'll be having another partner of us on call tomorrow who would be talking about a bunch of growth hacks that you can do on your Shopify website. I'm pretty sure that's going to be a helpful session as well. So we will try and answer some of those GA questions on that session as well, in case we are able to find resources today. And make sure that you have your questions ready on growth hacks as well, so that you have a productive session tomorrow. All right, I think we are closing the session quite on time today. Thank you everyone who has attended. We are
We really, really value your time. And before we all leave, for the folks that are on the call, if you can please show yourselves and enable your video setting. I would just like to take a screenshot of sorts, a virtual meetup perhaps. So if you could please, yes, all right. Okay, and we are trying to take a snapshot. More people trying to show themselves. Again, if I could request everyone to show yourself via video, would be great. And we are taking a screenshot 1, 2, and 3. Moving over to the next page, 1, 2, and 3 again. All right. Thanks a lot, you guys. I hope you guys are finding these sessions helpful. And we look forward to seeing you guys again tomorrow. Hi. Bye, everyone. Take care.